Richard Randall is on now on Colorado's 740 KBOR.
Well, I was raised on a farm. I mean, I spent a lot of time on a farm, on a ranch, worked on my sister's ranch when I was in high school, and lived in a small town, about 500 people. I know what BS smells like. Are you kidding me? I can distinguish the odor, whether it's between cattle and horses or pigs or whatever. No goats. I can't tell you goats. We weren't goat farmers. But I got to tell you what. I don't know when I became the guy who watches the State of the Union and gets annoyed as heck with all of the BS. I don't even have time on this program to go through and point out all of the half-truths, the lies, the spin. I'm going to do the best I can. We're going to have Congressman Doug Lamborn on to join us to talk about that. I'm going to see if I can get Jeff Crank to join us a little bit, too, because there were attacks. There have been so many attacks on him and what people like him have been trying to do in this country in the past couple of weeks, especially. But we renewed the war on women last night. Popular theme to trot out. And you don't have to say, the president doesn't have to say war on women, but when he starts talking about income inequality and he starts talking about, we don't want women to live in the Mad Men days. And in case you haven't watched, go to YouTube, watch a trailer or two. It's an okay show. I don't know. I gave it like 4 or 5 episodes and it was absolutely okay. I can see why a lot of people would be interested in it, but we go back to the recurring themes. This sounds like a campaign speech. It irritates the heck out of me that Republicans would even stand and applaud some of these lame BS campaign themes that this president has used on the trail, which is where he'll be again today. Not out there working for jobs or national security, but he'll be out doing what he loves to do, standing in front of a crowd, getting applause. Last night, women inequality. Now, there is a little bit of irony. I am created equal, Laura Carno. Was I the only person that when he started talking about women getting equal pay for equal work, I started thinking about the pot, the kettle, glass houses, and maybe, equality ought to start at home, as in your own workplace. What are you thinking here with this renewed attack? Well, let me put it this way. Do you think there is a renewed attack on women? Laura?
I really do love this topic, but the president seems to bring it up all the time when he doesn't have anything of substance to talk about. He says, oh, those women, they're not equal yet. And I think you and I have talked at length, Richard, about why those numbers are wrong. When you aggregate all of the money women make, all of the money men make, and divide it by the number of men and women, that's where they get their number. It looks like women make less. But women are the ones, by and large, this is statistically, who choose to stay home with the children, who choose to be the one to take the children to their medical appointments, who choose to maybe go part-time to take care of aging parents. That's why, in aggregate, it looks like that. But for the president to say you're not equal and we, the government, I, Barack Obama, can make you equal, we're already equal. We don't need the government to make us equal. Our rights are simply our rights. And all of the laws say equal pay for equal work already. And as you mentioned, the White House, the Obama White House, is one place we can point to where women get paid less than men. So there you have it.
Well, and I when I texted you to see if you could come on the program to rebut this BS, I had the 5th deja vu experience that I've ever had, because you are right. I've had you sit in this chair. I've had you on the phone. I've had you on numerous times to talk about this purported income inequality. First of all, is there an American out there who honestly believes that if I have a woman and a man and they're doing exactly the same job under exactly the same circumstances with the same hours, the same reliability, all of those factors where this person's going to be here for 10 years, this person's going to be here for 10, all of those things equal, that the woman doesn't deserve equal pay? Of course she does. No, who disagrees with that? Nobody disagrees with that. But as you pointed out, thank God we have a lot of women who are willing to sacrifice their careers because they understand that being a mother or a member of a family, taking care of their parents, is job one. I'm listening to Alan Combs this morning. Now, give me your thoughts on this. He says, well, a lot of times women get pregnant, they take maternity leave, and a lot of states allow this, and there are laws set up about this. Of course, they think the federal government has to dictate everything. And then 25% of them don't come back to work. Like, this is a national crisis, and the federal government should do something about this 25% of women who thought they were going to come back to work, got home, the bond with their child was so strong that they figured out a way, you know what, we'll do without a vacation, we'll do without an extra car, I'm going to be home at least for these couple of years. Like, they talk about it like it's a bad thing, or like the woman doesn't have a choice in the matter.
Right, and I think choice is the key word there. I want women and men to have choices in their job selections, and this isn't just about women. I was going to say that if women decide to stay home with their kids, more power to them. But I also know other situations where a couple has a child and they decide that the woman is going to go back to work because she makes more or what have you.
And that happens a lot. Yep.
And the man stays home, and I want families to have those choices too. And it should be their choice, not the government's choice. And but it's, I think I saw the same interview you saw. I think Alan Combs is just parroting the Obama administration talking points. And again, when you don't have a good record to stand on, when you can't say anything good about the economy or healthcare or anything, you have to throw things out to try and get people upset and say, yeah, that must be the problem, is I'm not equal. That's why our economy's bad. And it's just not accurate. They're lying. And as you know, we've talked about my new campaign, YouDollLied.com. I am tired of these politicians lying, and we saw lots of that with the president last night.
Well, and I think it is important, and that's why I love Udall lied, and Bennett lied, and Obama lied, because last night, and I'll talk about some of the Facebook responses that I got last night. I was accused of being hate-filled and a bunch of other things, simply because I've had about enough of it. And what concerns me is if a person were low information and they didn't know any better, and all they did was tune in to watch the president speak, and there was no fact check, they didn't listen to a rebuttal, they didn't really know the facts on any of this, I can honestly see, Laura Carno, how they would come away very impressed, thinking, my gosh, he's standing up for all of these wonderful things. And there's no question this guy talks a good game. Do you think it's going to resonate? I don't care about, he's not going to be running for office, so it doesn't matter in terms of resonating with women. Now, it may give him a little bit more leverage in terms of using his phone and his pen and that sort of thing. I don't think Congress is going to cave and do anything for him. But I am concerned about Hillary Clinton, because if women keep buying into what Barack Obama is saying on many of these themes, I see Hillary dovetailing on all of that and saying the remedy, of course, is to elect the first female president, just like you did with the first black president.
Right, and I think the bigger issue is not with women, although I am a woman, and sometimes women hear me differently because I am a woman. But I think the big category of voters that we need to reach are voters who just don't pay that much attention to politics. They don't listen to your show. They're not listening to talk radio. They don't watch the news on a regular basis. They have lives. They have kids and things to do and sports, and they just don't pay attention. It's not interesting. So certainly there are women in that group, but I'll tell you what, through I'm Created Equal and Udall Lied, I am hearing from as many men as women.
Good.
And so I think that people who aren't paying attention are the ones that we need to reach. And in a year when certainly we are pointing out that politicians lie, a lot of people, we had PolitiFact say that you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan, was the lie of the year. That came initially from Obama. Udall obviously parroted that lie and lied to us. People aren't liking the lies, and when we point out and others point out that politicians are lying to you, they're not misspeaking, they weren't mistaken, it's not that they didn't understand it and didn't read it. They knew They knew we couldn't keep our doctors and our health plans. They lied, because if they told us the truth, it wouldn't have passed.
Well, and let's go a step further. Shameless plug for Udall Lied here real quickly. How can people get in touch with you? Because when I want him called out, when this guy tries to apply pressure on insurance people, and of course they're all going to deny, oh, no, nothing going on over here. I want this guy to be held accountable, and I want the public to know what he did, and then they can decide whether this otherwise good-looking guy with a famous Western name who purports to be just a moderate Coloradan guy really represents us, or whether he lied. And the only question is whether he told 250,000 people they could keep their doctor and insurance, or whether the number is north of 300,000.
Yeah, and the numbers are definitely settled. So here's sort of the overall summary. First, Senator Udall lied. He said we could keep our doctors and health insurance. And we know that wasn't true. Then he cast the 60th and decisive vote to even pass Obamacare. So, and I'm running an ad right now on KVOR during Rush, and we say exactly that. Without his vote, there wouldn't be Obamacare. And initially, 250,000 Coloradans had their health insurance canceled. Senator Udall didn't like that number, so he tried to put pressure on the Division of Insurance, and they kind of bullied the insurance commissioner into trying to revise the number. And when that didn't work, Udall's former chief of staff lied too, saying a panel cleared Udall when there wasn't a panel. Well, now there was a panel. So it's lies on top of lies. And now the number has been revised, as you said, to 335,000 Coloradans have received cancellation notices. So, I mean, my question is, do liars ever tell the simple truth to the public? He's a public servant. We're equal to him. He's not the boss of us, and we are owed the truth. And all he's done is lie. So people can reach me at udalllied.com. We also have a Udall Lied Facebook page, Twitter account. You can see our TV spots, our radio spot, all kinds of news on just all the documentation for where Udall lied.
Well, I look forward to having you join me in studio soon. We're going to do, because it irritates me, we're going to do a War on Women show probably in the next week and a half. I'll be in touch with you to find out what your schedule is like. And this is what I want to do, Laura. I want to point out, if we take the average woman in America, much less in Colorado, they're not the people, the millionaires I saw reflected sitting up there in Congress. They're not the Udalls, whatever. There are a lot of hardworking women, a lot of women who are going to college, the next generation of women. I'd like to point out who really is attacking those women and who really is supporting those women. And I obviously know what the answer to that is. I'm not concerned about, the truth of this matter. Laura Carno, thank you so much. Need to take a brief intermission, get back to talking about the remainder of the State of the Union. I do think it's interesting, when you talk about Udall lying about Obamacare and casting the deciding vote in that, it is interesting that the president waited about 40 minutes into his State of the Union before he even addressed the issue. Only talked about it for, 3 or 4 minutes. This was supposed to be his big shining moment. You wouldn't hide it in the middle of everything else if it was going so well. And if the only glitch were a couple of computer problems that you could solve in the long run.
Right. It's his national embarrassment. So that will, when history is written, this will be written as his national embarrassment, I'm convinced.
Well, and hopefully when history is written, it will be shown that Coloradans are smart enough to say it wasn't just Barack Obama who lied about this. It was Mark Udall as well, and you pay a price. When you work for us and you are elected to office, you are a public servant. You work for us, and like any employee who lied about a major, it's not like I extended the lunch hour a little bit, boss. No. You lied to me about huge stuff. We get to fire you. Thank you so much, Laura Carno. Have a great day. All right. Short intermission. We're going to hear from Congressman Doug Lamborn at some point during the program. He's got a number of votes. He's trying to juggle exactly when that's going to be. Did you watch the State of the Union? That's the first question. The second question is, if so, what was your reaction to it? Apparently, I was hateful in terms of my Facebook responses and the rest. I'll tell you about that. Somebody wanted me to unfriend them. What if not everybody loves me? Oh, my gosh. Back after this.